Don't do it. One of the interviewees earlier said that there was a problem with women dropping out of tech at the 10-year mark. It's like, yeah, because they realized what they'd gotten into and bolted. The biggest thing, well, it depends on what axis. So I think the most important skill you need, to develop is being able to unlearn quickly. Now, most people say, well, you need to be able to learn quickly. Yes, certainly, of course. But in order to do that, you've got to be able to unlearn quickly. So, you know, they even told me this when I was in college back and we had, you know, stone tablets and stuff like that. They said, you know, really whatever technology we teach you in college, you will not use out in the workplace. It'll be dead by then. It'll be onto something else. And yes, indeed. So I spent 2 years programming on Modular 2. What? Who? Yeah, never heard of it. Yeah. That happens. So, you know, there are folks who are like, oh, I've gone to a coding boot camp and I've learned this, you know, part of this one language. I'm all set. I'm done. Not even close, right? The trick, the knack, is to learn something, learn the next thing. Learn something very different from that. So say you've learned Python or Ruby as a beginning programming language. Good start. Awesome. Good place to go. Then learn a functional programming language. Take a look at something really wacky like Prolog or SQL. Everyone needs to know SQL at some point, right? You know, look at all these different aspects of a thing, and you start to understand kind of the more fundamental basics of like information theory. So then when someone comes up and tries to explain a monad to you, it's like, yeah, okay, it's one of these kind of things, fine. Or whatever it might be. But the key is you can't hang on to the thing you learned first or the first several things that you learned. You know, when C++ came out back in the day, and it's like, hey, it's object-oriented, if you squint. People still wrote C code in C++. It was procedural, it was linear. And the same thing happens today. It's like, okay, I've learned Ruby, I got real objects, this is great, now I'm going to program Elixir. And they're not writing it in functional style, they're writing it in object style and, you know, trying to shoehorn it in. Because it's very difficult to throw out the mental models that you've developed, the learnings that you've had. This is the way you do it. And now you're telling me I've got to do it completely differently. Okay, that's valuable to learn. And then do it completely differently again with some other paradigm, some other style. And you just keep doing that. Then you start to get that appreciation of all the little bits that no one can teach you, that intellectual dark matter that's kind of binding us all together. It's like, oh, I know what Andy was talking about now. So that's what I would suggest. Great question. Thanks for asking it.